I would like each of us to share our single purpose for participating in this podcast, because each of us are participating with a little bit different lens as to why this information is so important to us.
I'm into this. I think that it was about 9 months ago that I had a real epiphany, because I had been into this online marketing for about 3 years, and I made this mistake that I think a lot of people are making is that they just put away everything that they've learned up to this point and just assume that the people that are teaching them have all the answers. So I bought all the platforms, I went to the courses, and I was applying all these techniques and tactics, even though they didn't quite feel right. I'm like, well, these folks must know something that I don't. And I kept hammering my head in the wall trying to sell courses and my book. And it just dawned on me. I don't know why. I'm the slowest learner around, I guess, but I just realized, wait a minute. I've already been doing this for 26 years. I was a university professor, had a successful career. I started a national laboratory, first in the world, dedicated to the evaluation of online learning. I was evaluating online learning courses in the 1990s when this new thing called the World Wide Web made that possible. And then I left higher ed to start a business during the internet boom. And I took my 3 smartest grad students with me, and we built a company that created the first online platform for evaluating courses, and ran that business for 10 years. And then I sold it for a lot of money and have had a consulting career all this time. But for some reason, in my mind, none of that seemed to matter. Like, oh, that's not online marketing. These folks must have something new that I need to learn. And, I want to say something about it because maybe others feel the same way, that they're putting their own experience and skills aside and trusting others to tell them like how things work. But they work the same. I'm a psychologist by training, and what I saw happening was the online marketing gurus and teachers were all teaching things that contradicted psychology. They violated psychological principles. They should not work, and they don't work. They work for 5% of people by chance, sometimes by coincidence. And that's why you keep bumping your head into the wall and saying, why doesn't this formula work? Why doesn't this method work? I was told this is how it's done, but it doesn't work for me. It seems to work for everybody else. Look at these testimonials. There's 3 people here who said this was the greatest course ever. There's 5 testimonials on this sales page. It worked for them. How come it doesn't work for me? It doesn't work for you because it shouldn't work. You need to recognize that and use your own skills and experience and apply that to what you're doing. So it just kind of brought all these issues to mind, and I started really looking at what they were selling and how they were doing it, and realizing that they're using techniques that I was not comfortable using, that I know from my own background as a researcher and a psychologist shouldn't work, that they actually come from what I call dark psychology. We'll talk about that in upcoming episodes, but a lot of the foundation for these tactics that we all hear about, urgency, scarcity, social proof, authority, that actually comes from a period of psychology that was very helpful. These tactics do work, but most people don't know the background. So I'd like to talk about that in upcoming episodes as well. So that's where I stand now, as somebody who just took a long time to realize that what we already know from our own business, our own skills, our own experience is just as helpful, because you want people to buy your stuff, right? You want people to pay attention to you. You have something to share with the world, and you can do it yourself, and you can do it with what you already have. You don't need to keep piling on some of these tactics that are just really questionable and just not very efficient anymore. So that's why I'm here to discuss with Jennifer and Anita these tactics and some great alternatives that work far better than most everything that you've heard.